What is going on, everybody? You do not need to adjust your television or your YouTube channel. I am here with Tony. Tony has been interacting with me lately, trying to see if we could get on this State of Mind podcast for a while. He is a fellow New Yorker, New Jersey uh, resident like myself. So it was only natural that I wanted to make this happen. Was supposed to be on with Dre today, but for some other, some personal reasons, he wasn't able to make it. Tony said he was down to do it, talk some Niners. So here we are. If you recognize Tony, it's probably because you've seen him on with Nothing But Niners. The channel that actually got me into doing stuff on YouTube was Nothing But Niners. So props to them and props to Tony for making time and coming to talk Niners with us.
Yeah, man. Listen, Aaron, thanks for having me on. First of all, it's a pleasure to come finally chat some football with you. Yeah, and with Nothing But Niners, we just love talking football and stuff like that. A lot of people watch our shows and stuff like that. So, I interact with some of the fans and stuff like that, some of the people that watch. And I'm just here to talk football and try to help other people do what they want to do and accomplish their goals with talking football or making podcasts and stuff like that. And I'm here for it, whatever you need.
It's so crazy because there's so many to choose from out there. We know all the big ones. We know all the ones that everybody flocks to mostly, and that's okay. At this point, I think in this time and day and time, I'm just doing it for the social aspect. So I'm not talking to myself or my cat about the 49ers. I figure I actually talk to other human beings. Let's get into the game yesterday, man. It was crazy, emotional ups and downs. I didn't personally know what to expect going into this season, man, with this new young defense. A lot of players departing last year. I thought offensively, before like a lot of the injuries happened, I thought offensively it was going to be the way to go. I thought offense would carry us. And sure enough, the game went completely the other way. And the Niners were essentially carried by their defense most of the game. What was your feeling watching the game, and then your overall kind of takeaway from it after you let it kind of marinate for you with you for a while?
All right, going into the game, I was kind of very hesitant. I didn't know what to expect. Okay, for multiple reasons. Number one, the collective bargaining agreement with the preseason and the training camps, all the restrictions. Then you factor in injuries. Jennings would have hold out, even though it was a calf, but whatever.
Exactly.
This team just did not have the time, especially offensively, to play together as one, right?
Yep.
Even in this game, they still didn't get an opportunity to play together as one. So I guess my main point of this whole conversation is the injuries.
Yeah,
You're seeing what the injuries are doing to this team. Not even halfway through the game, there goes Kittle. Then there goes Jennings. So, you see the overreaction, right? Everyone overreacts. Everyone's throwing things, cursing during the game. It is what it is. We're fans, right? 100%. We are fans. We want this team to succeed and play well and destroy everybody. My biggest concern was the defensive side of the ball because of all the new blood that they brought in and young, inexperienced players making that step to the NFL. Talented players, but they have to learn. And unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that were in this game contributing missed the preseason and missed training camp with injuries. So automatically, that's a major setback. So with all said and done, you had to expect this to be an extension of the preseason, week 1. Okay, it's across the NFL. Some of these teams aren't hitting yet. So after watching the game, I'm glad they pulled it out. They won. Brock Purdy threw a couple passes that were all right, the 2 interceptions. You like the idea, but you don't like the idea of going with that route because of the triple team or because of throwing it flat foot. You could dissect it all day. But the problem is the main thing that I took from this game is after those 2 missed field goals, which could have changed the game immediately. If he hit that one, they tied it or they go up, and then they would have took another lead with the second one. So with that being said, it changes the layout of the game. But how they fought through that and kept fighting and still pulled it out at the end is the main focus point. And that's what I walked away with. It's a major positive. The rookies, the inexperienced players got experience at the NFL level. They played a great defense in a hostile area, a hostile environment. And these are all things that you want to see. And that's the positive for me.
I think personally, this is going to be what we're going to see for a while this season. This kind of game. I really think this is going to be kind of par for the course for a while. I don't think this was a one-off. I totally agree with you about not playing in the preseason and what that does to players. It always seems like anytime there's no preseason action, it's always followed by an injury because guys don't have that contact callus that you get through camp, that you get through OTAs, that you get in the preseason. So sure enough, I don't want to go too far into the injuries because I want to bring it up in a little bit, but seeing Trent look at the way he did, where he's every other play he's on the ground or limping or something, not a surprise because I have my feelings about that. And then the Juwan Jennings injury wasn't a surprise. Kittle not doing any playing in the preseason, him getting injured, not a surprise. Like it happens almost all the time with these guys that don't play preseason. And then you look at the performance of, say, like Upton Stout, who all of a sudden is this team's nickel cornerback, who missed a ton of time. Almost, I would assume he missed all of the preseason as well. So, like, based on all those things happening, the outcome of yesterday's game was expected, not the final score per se, but like just the inner workings of what transpired through the course of 3 hours. And man, I still don't know what to expect from this squad this year. My expectations are a lot lower after the first game. Not like I'm not bitter or pissed off or like I'm gonna say that they're trash or anything, but there's definitely I need to reassess some things after watching this game. The Niners are this team's gonna be an uphill battle this year. And I was talking to Dre, who I was supposed to go on with live today, and he said that like I totally forgot what I was gonna say, but like the outcome would have been a lot worse if we would have played better competition. So in a way, the Niners learning kind of on the run here, especially with the young guys, based on the schedule we had this year. It's kind of like the perfect storm to have things go, the way that they might go. If the Niners had a harder schedule and they, had games like this, like yesterday, it would be a lot scarier. But the fact that they kind of have some winnable games pretty much throughout the season, based on this roster, I still have some hope and some expectation of them. I just think you need to, as a fan, you need to kind of like rein in your expectations right now. This team is like a WIP, man, work in progress. And so kind of expected some things yesterday. And when I say everything, I mean down to kicking and everything. So things pretty much went according to plan for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. But my thing is this, right? And I forgot to touch on this because like my mind's all over the place right now. But number one thing that I noted, I took away from this game, they forced them out on defense on the first drive, right? They got that first down, that play in Jigba, whatever his name is. They completed that long pass, and then they shut them down. And then they went from the 5-yard line all the way down and scored. I understand there was a penalty in there with a hit to the head. I mean, listen, if they're going to call it, they're calling it with everybody. They're trying to change the safety and really protect the quarterbacks this year. The first two guys weren't the issue. It was Leonard Williams that came over and just gave him a blow with his arm to his head that utterly just knocked him down. It is what it is. He did it. He shouldn't have done it. The ball was gone. So people could say, oh, that was a bullshit call, whatever. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. You can't do that. It was called. So that's the one thing that I understand it's scripted, but how they took the ball and they went down the field and they scored. And you normally don't see that with San Francisco coming out of the preseason in week 1, week 2. Usually this offense is usually even further behind than what it is currently right now.
Yeah.
And that says a lot because of the injuries, right? It says a lot. This team's at 35% with skill positions right now. That's scary. That's very scary.
It is very scary.
So with that being said, I think this team is a little bit ahead of where you're looking at this team. And I love week 1 win in Seattle. Hostile area for inexperienced guys on defense. I like it. It's loud. It was a playoff. Well, in the fourth quarter, it was very loud in there. It almost was like a playoff environment. I think one of the announcers said it.
Yeah.
It feels like a playoff game in here. But this is experience that's only going to make these kids on the defense and this team better and stronger. It's a road win versus a divisional opponent with a very good defense and a head coach who single-handedly shut down that offense when he was in Baltimore, and Mike McDonald on Christmas night 4 years ago, I think. I don't remember. But I took this game as a positive. Now, if they would have lost, the positive could have went to negative real quick. And then we all know what the negative, the target would have been. It would have been Jake Moody.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like a pendulum. You're going to swing back and forth. I like how now they're on the road again next week going to the Saints. Cross country, early start. This is just going to build the strength of this team. And it's something that's not going to hurt them. I think it's going to make them better. I think they're going to come together quicker. Defensively, the young guys. The offense, they just need to get healthy. If they don't get healthy on offense, it's going to be 150% on Brock. I think you saw Kyle do something that he hasn't done previous years with alternating a second back using Robinson now. Even though he really isn't the perfect fit for this offense right now or up to speed with this offense, I think it's going to help Christian McCaffrey. Now, Christian McCaffrey did a lot of work yesterday. I think a little more than what everybody wanted to see, but still, he's still a productive running back. People are saying, yeah, he lost a step. Okay, he lost a step. It is what it is. Shit happens. We all get old. You get old. I get old. Christian McCaffrey gets old. But the kid still made plays when plays needed to be made. And that's what this is about. Execution at crucial times, right? That final drive, Purdy went, 6 for 6 or 7 for 7?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Players that weren't on a roster were in jeopardy of being cut or not picked to come onto the roster, makes a Dwight Clark-esque touchdown catch in the back of the end zone.
Sure did.
So, you're seeing the youth step up and develop and stepping in when needed. That's a major positive. And I see Rob D put Marcus Siegel, right?
Yes, I was very impressed.
Let me tell you something. That is going to potentially, we're going to say potentially because it is week 1, he could be another find and another gem for this 49ers in the 5th round.
Agreed. And
especially when he teams back up with Mustafa.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're talking about a dangerous secondary. Man, there's so much I could talk to. It's just like in my head. Yeah, but I'm not going to keep going. So go ahead.
Dude, you have 100% that New York style, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. We're never at shortage of what to say, which is great because it makes doing stuff like this on YouTube and podcasting really easy. I've had to pull some teeth a couple times doing this, and I'm like, oh my god, definitely not the case. I'm like I said, I thought it was good experience for what happened yesterday, especially with the young guys. It's the only way you're going to learn, right? When I say my expectations are lower, I just mean that, okay, I've kind of gotten a feel for what they are, at least right now. The stupid earpiece keeps coming out. So I've gotten my feel for him. Like Upton Stout, he didn't play at all in the preseason. He was hurt. I thought he adjusted well in the second half. Teams are gonna be actively going after him after this week 1 showdown with Seattle. So that's definitely going to be something that's going to be kind of an ongoing story to see how he addresses the fact that people are going to go at him if they quote unquote see him as the weak link in the secondary. I think it's hard to come from college and then all of a sudden be put in as, because nickel corner is a tough position to play, Tony. It's not an easy position. Some of your best players in the NFL play the slot. and you're putting a rookie in there and saying, "Here you go, here we go." I mean, would I have loved to see Chase Lucas in there just for my own mental health, probably. But they drafted the kid for a reason. They threw him to the Wolves. I thought he acquitted himself better in the second half. He had a nice pass deflection down the right sideline towards the end of the game. So, some players I'm still worried about. Alfred Collins, another guy that missed a lot of time. He got freaking power speared into the ground by an offensive lineman yesterday. Being as big as he is, it's not something you want to see. But one, you're not going to hit on all the rookies, and two, like you said, man, it's like this is just the beginning for some of these guys. So, and they're getting live reps, NFL speed, and it's go time, baby. And the league, the weeks go by fast. We're going to be in New Orleans in 6 days, and it's going to be the same thing all over again. I'm looking forward to it. Getting a win in the division on week 1 on the road with a young defense and with a lot of guys down on offense is impressive. Especially if this team gets healthy, and then we can see what they're made of. I wanted to touch on a couple breaking news pieces that have dropped here within the last couple hours. We can go. I'll go into Twitter X. Don't mind me. We had the Colton McKivitz signing here, Colton McKivitz contract extension. Let's zoom this in a little bit. So starting right tackle Colton McKivitz has reached an agreement on a 3-year, $45 million contract extension, including $27 million guaranteed. McKivitz was in the last year of his deal and was contractually tied to San Francisco through the 2028 season. Based on what Jalen Moore got on the open market, Tony, I think this was a smart move to get ahead of. They did say right before the game, on KNBR 95.7 the game, that they wanted to get both him and Juwan Jennings tied down. But with the Jennings thing being a little bit more tricky because, they kind of, agreed to just play it for this year and see what the future holds. Any feelings on McKivitz? I'm kind of in the middle on this one. I wouldn't consider him like a bookend offensive tackle that you want to, set your offensive line's future on. But I mean, right now, the way things are in the right tackle market and what these guys are getting paid, I thought the 49ers made a smart move getting out of it.
Yeah, so they didn't allow him to hit the market, essentially, is what we're talking about right now. It's a 3-year deal with $27 million guaranteed. That is a 15, that's $18 million difference. That's money that's floating around, right?
Right.
So that right there tells me that there's an escape out of this somewhere along the line. If they do eventually draft somebody or sign somebody or find that replacement to take over for him. On paper, it doesn't say in this one, but the other article I was reading, $15 million a year it comes down to, give or take. What this is they're solidifying that right tackle spot and not allowing him to hit the market to get into a potential bidding war.
Yep.
This says a lot, right?
Yep.
Mike Lynchy is on the books right now for $17.85 million. And that deal that he went to Denver with. And I don't know if that's his base salary or if that's his salary cap hit with incentives and all that stuff. I don't know that. But I just Googled it, right tackles, and he came up as $17.5 million. So with that being said, everybody wanted McGlinchey out. Everyone thought McGlinchey wasn't good. He's overhyped. He's this, he's that. Colton McKivitz is not your perfect right tackle, but he's the best right tackle we have right now. And I'm not going to risk paying him $24 million. Who's the right tackle from Tampa? Goodoko or something? Goodoko or something? He just signed an extension for $24 million a year. Now, is there that big of a difference between Colton McKivitz and the gentleman right tackle from Tampa Bay who signed for $24 million compared to Colton McKivitz's $15 million? I don't know. I don't watch Tampa Bay. But I will say this. He knows the system. There's times where he flashes. There's times where he has some bad reps. It happens, right? I'm willing to take it. $15 million, solidify that spot for 3 years, up to 3 years, or as long as you need to within 3 years until you find his replacement, right?
Yep.
That's where I'm at with this because I don't think Pleasance is the answer at right tackle. I don't think Burford's the answer at right tackle. I think Colton McKivitz right now is the guy for the San Francisco 49ers at right tackle for $15 million a year on paper. And I have no issue with this. It's a smart move, and that's that.
Yep. What's the other option? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to be painting free agency with a bunch of money next year based on the way we kind of didn't take part in this year and having all that dead cap space. And the Niners are really, they're trying to do things smarter, and not throw out money unnecessarily like they did, unfortunately, with the Brandon Ayuk situation. But you had to see this coming, though, with the Jalen Moore deal. He's sitting on the bench right now, and he got paid his ass off this offseason. And we know what Jalen Moore was.
Aaron, look at that scenario. The Chiefs jumped the first day of free agency and signed him to that 2-year, $30 million deal, or $15 million per hour.
Yep.
But what did they do then? They go and draft a tackle. Now they're paying this guy all this money because they jumped the gun, not thinking a tackle would be there or their tackle that they wanted could be there. So you drafted the dude you wanted, and now you're paying this guy $15 million. I'm not paying a swing tackle $15 million a year.
No.
There's no swing tackle in the league that's worth $15 million in a year. And swing tackles don't generate or get paid $15 million.
Free agency is always weird, man. The amount of overpay that happens in free agency.
Sure, I mean, the overpay is usually the starters.
Like Javon Hargrave was a big overpay on us. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that.
On that one, man. Whew. I thought he was going to be the answer as a one-gap penetrating pass rushing defensive tackle. Man, shit.
You know what he was, bro? He was a guy that got paid and stopped working. That's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes you got to call a spade a spade. Some people, they play enough in the league to get that contract and set their family up for life, and then that's pretty much it. They say it all the time with like players, like, will he be the same once he gets paid? Because it's a legitimate fear to have in the National Football League. I mean, Jamarcus Russell was the biggest culprit of all time, with a guy that got paid a ton of money on potential and was one of the laziest players in the history of the league, who they would send him blank videotapes. He wouldn't watch them, and he would tell everyone that he watched them. And it was just like, they had to adjust the way that they paid salaries in the NFL because of a Jamarcus Russell type move. So, the Niners are going to be way more careful with free agent moves. I'm surprised they were as active as they were on the free agent market this preseason, but they didn't really have a choice. Was hoping maybe to go after another edge player, maybe someone in free agency, but the Niners are kind of sticking to their plan. They went after what the hell's his name from the Eagles, which was a kind of a middle of the pack type. Yeah, and he looked okay yesterday. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not upset with this. It's not really like, blowing my doors off with this type of move. But like you said, you had to get ahead of it. It's kind of the going rate for right tackles, an average to mid-tier right tackle. And so the Niners got ahead of it. They don't have to worry about it for this year. Depending on things go with Juwan Jennings, if they could somehow go back to the table and get him figured out this year, that would be awesome. I don't see that happening, but it could. So Niners got their right tackle, at least for now. The other move that happened today, and I will bring it up on X, was the signing of our old friend. Where is he? Where is he? Kendrick Bourne, former 49er, was here during the first Super Bowl run. He was kind of a third down guy. He was like Juwan Jennings before Jennings. And now essentially he's coming in to replace Juwan Jennings, as we don't really know what the injury status is. Bourne is getting a 1-year, $5 million deal. Thoughts on this, Tony? Necessary evil for what is going on in the receiver room right now?
I mean, a move had to be made, right? This is a move that's what do you call this? This is a move that had to be made. It just based off the fact now Jennings is banged up. Ayuk, we don't know when he's coming back. Robinson's gone for 3 games. You have Valdez Scantling, Yeah, he's fast as hell, but is he the greatest route runner? Is he consistent with his hands? No. So that's an issue. You have Gage, who really defeated all odds and had. I'll tell you one thing: he had one hell of a training camp. Training camp in preseason, the guy is just making catch after catch after catch after catch. He's a veteran. He's an experienced receiver. Has some success in his background and his history in the NFL. But in a situation like this, there's people saying, "Oh, go get Cooper." Well, Cooper already retired. These guys, like these John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, these guys know when somebody wants to play, and they know when they're teetering, should I go back and make a couple more million, or should I just not play? I'll go back and do it. Screw it. It's the Raiders, because everyone made a big deal how he chose the Raiders over the 49ers. Well, I think that worked out pretty favorable for the 49ers. Right?
It absolutely
what
did.
Do you bring a guy back who has had success in San Francisco. Not elite success, but has had success in this system. Is potential a very solid replacement for a guy who is currently injured with an unknown status going forward. And someone that kind of wants to be here, right? You saw the interaction between New England at the New England game last year with Shanahan and him hugging each other. You saw it. He wanted to come back. So you know what you do? You sign him to the deal, you bring him back and say, listen, we need you, man. Let's go. You healthy? You're good. Pass the physical. Here's your deal. Sign it. We're going to play. We're going to move forward with you. And when we get to that point where Ayuk comes back, Robinson comes back, what's the rookie's name? Damn, I'm drawing a
Watkins.
Watkins, when he's cleared, someone that I'm really high on is Watkins.
Me too.
Yeah, could be massive in this offense, but we'll talk about it another time. But when they're all back, we'll cross that bridge at that point, and we'll discuss your role then. If it's something you want to stick with us and try to go make a push for a Super Bowl, if we're in contention, by all means, we'll keep you. But if you also want to try to go find an opportunity on your own, we will let you. So this is a win-win situation right now for San Francisco. Is he the answer? Is he going to take this offense to struggling to friggin' putting up 40 a game? He's not. But he solidifies that wide receiver group, and it's something that is desperately needed right now because of, again, the key word, injuries.
My biggest pet peeve. Tony, I think the Niners wide receiver room in general is going to be in a fluid position all year, based on, they say that IU can come back between someplace between week 5 and week 10, maybe closer to week 10. So there's that. And you have Demarcus Robinson won't be back until week 4. So, I mean, the Niners are like pasting stuff together with, freaking popsicle sticks and glue right now, man, just trying to get a wide receiver core on the field. Yesterday was watching that game towards the end. Tony, I don't know about you, but man, watching the play where Brock threw that second interception and some of the plays down near the goal line during the end, towards the middle of the second half, there's nobody open. There was nobody open. Like, you can say what you want about, certain quarterbacks can find a way to get guys to get open and work with them. He's not Josh Allen, Brock Purdy. He doesn't have that kind of like dynamic run situation where you can just pick up and get 45 yards on a scamper, and he's bigger than all your defensive backs and everything. But I thought Brock acquitted himself nicely, considering that you watch those plays. Other than Pearsall, there's nobody getting separation. VS didn't do anything yesterday. Gage really didn't do anything yesterday. I thought Kyle Juszczyk played well yesterday, man. Coming out, I wasn't a big fan of them re-signing him in the offseason, but now I'm kind of glad they did. He's kind of a weapon in the pass game to some extent, so that was cool, but
that's a matchup game. That's the matchup game that Kyle plays.
Right.
And that's the type of player he is. He's not the guy that's going to wow you every game. He's going to be that game in that 1 2nd and 12 situation. Oh, shit, where's Juszczyk? There he is. He's 15 yards down the field, wide open on a wheel route because you're sleeping. That's what he does.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that they did something with him and actually used him. Kyle sometimes is pretty stubborn with the way he runs his offense. I was very surprised, Tony. I don't know about you, but the amount of carries and the amount of touches we got from Brian Robinson yesterday. I was surprised. We talked about this on the Cover 3, me and the Sterling Bennett and Dre Sports on Friday. They're like, will Kyle break from his normal stubborn ways, him and Bobby Turner, which is all about we just use one guy and pound him into the ground till he's injured? Or would they go with the two-back situation? And bro, like they really were running a two-back situation yesterday, and I was pleasantly surprised.
They have to. They have to. If you want McCaffrey, they have to.
Well, the amount of touches he's going to be getting with things the way they are right now, they don't have any choice. Kyle's being forced almost by
default.
Things, yeah, like that he has to do things a different way. Let's see here. Anything else on the Bourne move? To me, it's a safe move. $5 million is not that bad of a piece of change, bro. They paid a little bit for him. 1 year, $5 million for him it's a little bit of money.
Well, the Niners, it's max. It's max value of $5 million. So is that incentive based? Is that if he makes the playoffs, he gets $1.5 million? Is that if he gets over 500 yards receiving, he gets $500,000? So you got to see, like, Spot Rack usually takes 48 hours to get updated. You got to check Spot Rack, and they'll give you like the full big breakdown of the structure. Cash, incentive, bonus, and that's how we'll grade this going forward for his type of deal.
What did you I saw this comment. I want to pull it up here. The 49ers 2025 says our O-line didn't block well. How much of yesterday's offensive line situation, Tony, was their defensive line and us being porous? I feel like it was kind of a 50-50 split.
I definitely think it's a 50-50 split. I think their defensive line is excellent. They played with their hair on fire yesterday. I think they came out defensively. And again, I'm not a Seattle fan. I don't know. I can't verify this. If there's a Seattle fan in the chat, I doubt there is. But if you could verify if that unit played in the preseason together or did they not, they were more in sync as a unit up front than the offensive line as a unit up front. Yeah. So, and the other thing, right, Trent barely did anything in training camp. Anything, right? The weakest link in his offensive line is Jake Brendel. Why he's still here, I understand he's very good with his play calls and his blocking, his protection calls. 100%, I understand that. But sometimes you got to say, okay, protection calls are on point. They're excellent. They're all pro level. But the guy's just getting ragdolled. He got pushed back several times. He missed on a cutoff block to the backside linebacker. And these are blocks that in this type of scheme, in this offense, is very important for the center to get to that second level and cut that backside guy off because that creates the lane on the cutback on the outside zone. So if we're not doing that, you're constantly getting pushed around. Brock Purdy, I don't think Brock Purdy looked 100% comfortable in the pocket.
No.
He had to do a Jordan jump and throw one over because Brendel was basically on his lap.
Pretty much.
So why are they not deciding to say, all right, let's try something new at center? Now,
I'm not understanding the Brendel obsession in love over the last couple of years. I know Kyle's kind of stubborn. He's never going to play rookies. So even if they would have drafted a rookie center, he was not going to get much run or much rub from Kyle. I wanted to bring the stat up to you real quickly. Says Trent Williams versus Seahawks in week 1 allowed 10 QB pressures, 26.3 pressure rate, and 8 one-on-one QB pressures, 25.8% per next gen stats. In every category, it's the most pressures he's allowed quite easily. So much in a single game since 2020. I wanted to ask you this question because it was one of my topics. I feel like Trent has, and I say this with much respect, he got paid. Like, he went for the money. He's continued to go for the money the last couple of years, and they've kept him around and paid him. I really feel like he's definitely on the downward slide. I mean, every time you see him, he's on the ground, he's limping. You know, his ankles are made out of like paper mache at this point. I feel bad for the guy. He's a stud, Hall of Fame offensive lineman. But man, I feel like the Niners love affair with him, and their respect and admiration for him is definitely deserved. But man, I feel like he's definitely on the downside of things just by watching him yesterday. He does not look like the same player. Again, he didn't play in training camp, or he didn't play in preseason. He didn't get any reps in preseason, so he's out of game shape. How do you feel about Trent? You still think he's a top 10 offensive tackle in the league? Or do you think the 49ers are kind of getting maybe the kind of the final run out of him, and that the downside is kind of coming and happening right now?
Let's bring this back in 3 weeks, and we'll talk about that.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to see what he looks like traveling cross country off the plane next week, and then I believe they're home for week 3. Correct?
Yep, they play the Cardinals. I think it's an 8 o'clock game. I think.
Because I saw something yesterday with Trent Williams. I don't remember the exact play call, but it was something where he had to pull out and get out in front and lead downfield.
And he was still moving.
He flew.
Yeah, that's the part that's why I'm like careful saying it. I don't want to sound disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like,
now, I don't want to say things.
He's definitely had a lot of injuries. He's missed a lot of time since he's been with the Niners. I mean,
yes,
for a fact if you have him, he's going to miss at least 4 games a year. It's just a given. It's just going to happen with Trent Williams.
I agree with that.
And that being said, it's like I agree with you. Let me come back to this. Hopefully you're on with me if you want to join up in a couple weeks. See how now this goes today. And we could talk about that. We could revisit Trent Williams. I thought he was like on that play you said where he was out there, they kicked him out to block on the run play. He looked great. He looked like the old Trent Williams. But when you watch games, sometimes it looks like he's really struggling, pain-wise, moving-wise. I feel like the end is closer than we realize. I know he said he could play it. He said he wants to play. He said before, like, he's going to go year by year, but, some people say he could play another 2-3 years. I don't believe that. I do believe this year could be it for Trent.
I definitely think I'm with you with that.
And it's not a disrespect thing. It's just being realistic.
It's about the body giving out.
Yes.
It's not the fire. It's not the competitiveness. I think.
No, I'd take him in an alley all day, every day. And I'm a pretty big guy myself, but I'd fight with him.
100%. You're talking about the body breaking down. And when it comes to talking like that, I mean, you can't defy it. If the body don't want to run, the body don't want to run. Like if that. Right. But I'm willing to wait at least 2 weeks. I want to see him, all right, bang. He got through this week 1. He tested out. He scored poorly according to PFF. I'm not the biggest PFF fan in the world. I got to be honest with you. Take it as a grain of salt. My thing with coaching and playing is what I see on the TV is telling me how you're playing. I don't do a plus minus 0.1, +1, -2, +3. No. If I see you're doing a good block and you're having success with your man and you're driving him off the ball, all right, yeah, you're having a good game. You're doing good. This is what you can fix, X, Y, and Z. If I see you taking plays off, if I see you just not giving effort, well, that's a negative. So you're not having a good game. So that's how I look at it. Oh, my God. Did you just see that? Is that true or is that false?
What's going on?
Something with Brock Purdy. Bleacher Report just popped up. It said QB status for week 2 is uncertain amid toe and shoulder injury. I hope this is a joke.
George Kittle out a few weeks with a hamstring injury.
You got it.
So this is all I'm getting right now. This is the Dave Lombardi. Let's go to Lombardi. He might not be the most fun-loving guy, but he is. I respect his. Let's see what Lombardi has to say. Brock Purdy hurt his shoulder and toe. Shanahan says toe is worse than shoulder. Yep. Shanahan said Purdy status for week 2. We're not sure. You got to see how it. My God.
Jennings is still being evaluated. George Kittle will miss a few weeks with a hamstring.
That's insane, bro. Wow. He also said that they're going through their options this week with kickers, which is interesting because that's the next topic I wanted to bring up to you. Oh, boy.
Well, at least the shoulder is the left one and not the right one.
Oh, and Brock Purdy?
Yeah. It says here, suffered a left shoulder injury and a toe injury. Kyle said the toe is worse than the shoulder. So he probably has turf toe, which is terrible.
It's a good thing he's not a cutting athlete where he has to run really fast. He could stay in the pocket.
I don't get it with this team, man.
I don't understand the injuries, bro. That's always and that's a lot of the stuff I brought up in the preseason and a lot of the shows I was doing with people is just the fact that it's always with the injuries. It's always with the injuries. It's not even the opponent on the field. It's the injuries. You trust Mac Jones playing well?
Yes.
I do and I don't. I think he's comparable. But we're talking about comparable at 100% weapons, with everybody healthy. It looks like Kittle's going to miss a little bit of time. Wow.
Aaron, listen to what I'm about to say. In this situation, with their schedule and the teams that are coming up against them.
Yep.
It's very feasible.
Oh, I agree. Totally.
But the main factor is, I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but there's a big factor in this that they can't have any more injuries, and that's all I'm going to say.
They can't. This is getting out of hand, bro.
I think you see Kyle go back to the more traditional offense, play action, roll the pocket, get the easy throws, run the ball, clock possession, time possession, and just play defense. They're going to have to play – that defense is going to have to play their ass off.
I just don't understand it because Purdy didn't say anything in the postgame that he was hurting or anything was wrong.
Yeah, but what do you believe with this team with injuries? Like, you don't know what to believe.
They're not very truthful. They're not very truthful.
Shame.
Shoot, I don't want to dampen the mood anymore, but I wanted to bring up this video that I have here. This is Richard Sherman, and they're talking about the Jake Moody situation, and we just saw that it looks like the Niners might be bringing in some kickers, but I wanted to play this for you and then get your opinion on the video and how you think the Niners should handle the Brock Purdy situation. Or, excuse me, Jake Moody.
The 49ers fan base is wondering when enough is going to be enough.
Can you hear it?
This has to be it, Mitchell.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it before. I thought that in the preseason. I thought it last year. I always think it because it's not acceptable for the position. Like 76% for a kicker
horrendous
in the National Football League is horrible. That's a career. That's his career. He's a career 45 of 59, not including what happened today. So he'd be 46 of 62 if you included what happened today. And mind you, one of them got blocked, but that comes down to certain operation times, and everybody factors into that. But they got to block better. He got to kick better. But it's just an unacceptable thing. It's an unacceptable reality of the sport that you're a professional. It's like a quarterback throwing for 50%. Like eventually you got to replace him, not because he's a bad person, not because you hate him, not because there's a standard that you expect. There's an expectation of the job. You got to be a pro. And kickers are held, they're a specialist. That's why they call them specialists. You have a special set of skills. Your special set of skills are kicking the ball through the uprights. And anything under 40 yards, you're expected to be perfect. Is that fair or not fair? I don't know. But that's what the expectation is in the National Football League. And most of the kickers in the National Football League under 40 yards are pretty much perfect. He's not, and he hasn't been. Under 40, he's almost perfect. He's what is that? 16. 30. He's almost perfect. He's almost perfect. He's 20. Before today, he was 29 of 30. And then today he misses a clanker. I think it was, what was that, 28 yards, 38 yards?
27 yards.
27 yards. You can't have
That's
it.
less than a field goal.
Those are things that your head coach should never go into a game thinking he has to go for it on fourth down because he doesn't think his kicker is gonna make the kick. If that's a mindset, if that's something that your head coach has to put in his subconscious, even under 40 yards, seems like they need to get somebody else to do the job.
I want to ask you this, and I know that Brock Purdy's freaking news is, I mean, at least he's not out for the season. He has a chance to play.
Mm.
What is it with John and Kyle that they cannot cut this guy loose? What is, I do not understand it. I told my brother, he's a Dolphins fan. He's got his own problems. This team sucks. They need to reboot the whole thing. I told my brother, I said, this stupid Moody. I said, if he was my teammate, I would have knocked his teeth out. You play all game. You're playing in a tough situation, a tough environment. You bust your ass, and then you got this Cheshire Cat, goofy, freaking super bad body language kicker who just goes out there and it's like he doesn't give a shit. He misses kicks, but everybody still has his back. Everybody still believes in him. John and Kyle and the John in the presser right before the season, I thought he was full of garbage. What is it? Other than justifying their wages and justifying the pick, I don't understand any. You know as well as I know, because you've probably been a 49er fan a long time. In the old days, even if we were winning, there's a good chance the 49ers would have cut this guy right after the game and got a new kicker in there, even if they won the game. And I told myself, I said, they won the game yesterday. There was a small part of me, that I wanted them to lose. Because that'll be the only way that I would ever make such a move. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want us to lose.
Yeah.
What's your overall take on Jake Moody? Do you still have faith in him, or are you in the mindset of like
no, I have no faith in him. I don't think the team has faith. And it's funny that you just said what your reaction was. If I was his teammate, I'd punch him in the face. If you listen to the broadcasters, there was some reaction on that sideline after the two missed attempts. I'm willing to say one definite miss. I'm going to say, in my eyes, it was the second miss was also on him because he changed his approach and he just looked like it was a slower approach. Like that second one where it was blocked, listen, my man got decleated, pancaked, whatever you want to call it. He was on his backside with his feet up in the air. That's what happened. It is what it is. I forgot who, Hennessy, right? But it just looked like his approach, I think he saw that and he might have hesitated for a minute. It was just slow to the ball. When that ball's placed, you got to go and kick that ball and lift it. Because if he did it right, there could have been a slight possibility that would have cleared that guy's hands. The ball looked like it had a lower trajectory, and that's why it was like, boom, it was gone. Like it was immediately was blocked. Not even like deflected and went left or deflected and went up. It literally went back. So that tells me it was on a low trajectory. So with that being said, I have zero confidence in him. I think Kyle and John are tied to that draft, tied to him because of where they drafted him in that draft. Okay. Third round pick, even though it was a compensatory pick. Totally understand. But when you have an offensive tackle sitting there, I think they had a corner sitting there. I think there was a couple solid offensive linemen and a wide receiver sitting on the board. And you turn around and you take Jair Brown, which is, we're still out on that. The jury's still open on that.
Agreed.
And then you double down and take Cameron Latou, who doesn't even make it out of your first year, and then take a kicker or vice versa. I don't remember what order it was in. But there's a lot on you for that. Those are 3 out of 5 picks that you could have put key pieces, even something to an offensive line, even added another a wide receiver, playmaker, even adding another defensive lineman.
I don't care if you added. I feel like kicker picks are luxury picks if you're a really good team and you're looking to maybe not pay a veteran and you want to go with a younger guy. But when it comes to kicker in the NFL, under 40, like you said, like 40 yards or less, it has to be automatic.
I mean, he missed a field goal, an extra point.
Yeah, it's sent.
Chip shot.
I don't understand it. And I don't understand the coddling by the team, like especially Kittle. I love Kittle to death. This is pro football, bro. This isn't Pop Warner. I can understand if I had a 7-year-old son who had made a mistake playing Pop Warner football. He was down on himself. And, I'd take off for ice cream after. I'd get him pizza or something. Help with his mindset, make him feel good about himself because he's a child, not a grown man who looks like he's going to cry every time he misses a kick. And yet they keep shoving him out there. And it's like everybody else in the National Football League and every other fan base and every other normal person with a normal mind that isn't, on something knows that this guy's absolute trash as a kicker. And yet they, for some reason, they have this weird thing where I said it yesterday. He made that kick in the game. I said, and he's going to do just enough for them to keep him on the team. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm beyond pissed. And now we got, the Brock Purdy news is just going to put a damper on my whole week. 49ers 2025. I'm going to disagree with you on this one. He says, I'm sorry, Shanahan needs to go. He is not transparent with injuries. He doesn't address the O-line. Neither is his play calling effective. 9 years of garbage. Time to move on. Hire John Gruden. I don't think so. Injuries, no. Yeah, I would agree on that. They're not always the most transparent when it comes to injuries.
But not all teams are. So I don't.
They also have them. They have so many of them all the time. I guess they just get tired of talking about them.
Why are we nitpicking Kyle for talking about injuries, and why aren't we focusing on the issue of the training staff or the sports performance staff? Why is there no accountability for these people who are supposed to be getting these guys in shape, who are supposed to be laying plans out for recovery treatment? And it just every year in, year out, it just does not work. There's an injury every year, whether it's in the first part, second part, third part, fourth part, first quarter, second, third quarter, whatever it is.
And it's always to a top player, too.
Always something. Always something.
I don't like the people that were trying to tell me that the Bills had a lot of training camp injuries they were trying to say I'm being unrealistic. Tell me when they miss games. I don't want to hear it. You're making a big deal out of all these preseason injuries. And I'm like, really? Am I? I said, did you see the list? We had a stream a couple weeks ago, Tony, where it was a list of both years that we didn't make the playoffs. We were number one in the league in injuries. And it wasn't even close.
It happens.
And it's every single season, bro. It's every single season. I'm so sick of people trying to make it well, everybody has injuries on their team. Not like the Niners.
Not like this.
No.
It's week 2. You're talking about a quarterback. You're talking about.
Looks like Ben Barch, Mr. Glass, is injured again.
Yeah, he just has I think it was an elbow sprain I read or something. Something with the elbow or a knee sprain. I don't know. It is what it is at this point, man. You just got to listen, hope they get through this stretch. Hope they still, can win games, tight games, come out with W's. I think they can handle I'm hoping they can handle the Saints on the road. Come out of there 2-0 for your first home game. Build yourself a little cushion and just try your best to get this team back to where they were. Because I do think, and I honestly feel, if this team can get healthy and still have a winning, a plus record, I think they could make a push into the playoffs. Not the Super Bowl, but I think they can make a nice solid push into the playoffs because they have a schedule in their favor.
That's what I keep telling.
It's got to start with number 1, the injuries, and number 2, whatever it is, the issue with Jake Moody, whether it's the pick or he's got dirt on one of those guys in that front office.
You got nudes of somebody that we don't know about. I don't know what's going on.
You have to make a decision because now your jobs are on the line. And if this guy potentially could have caused them that game. And he could potentially cause you games down the line. I understand he's made some big kicks. And, like, listen, there's people out there like Grant Cohen. Like, I like Grant Cohen. I met him a couple times. I had some drinks with him. He's cool, but he takes things to another level. Like, I'm not like that, but he has his own way of doing things. Great guy. Don't get me wrong. But he said something, and he was dead on balls accurate when he said this. He said when that guy kicked that field goal versus the Raiders, Jake Moody, from 59 yards out and won that game with that kick, that was the worst thing that he could have done. Because that's the reason why he's still on that roster. And he is 150% right. And if, Grant, you're watching, I give you kudos and all the credit in the world because you are 100% correct with that.
You know me, I'm not a Grant guy. I do not like the Cone, anything Cone. But, yeah. It was Grant Cohen you were talking about, correct?
Grant, yeah.
Yeah. He's right. It was the worst thing to happen for the team was to have him make that kick and have everybody treat him like he just won the Super Bowl. That also pissed me off. I don't know about you. I've been around the block a long time with this team, but that is just a sad, weird, like massaging a guy's ego because he's so mentally fragile that you're going to celebrate a kick in the preseason. I don't know, man. This isn't the football I grew up watching. I like the time that they were at the Pro Bowl, or was it Peyton Manning? And he was talking about Mike Vanderjagt, who went on television talking about how Peyton was like laissez-faire about stuff, and then Peyton came out and said he was an idiot drunk kicker. Like, kickers are not football players. I hate to say this. I am very old school when it comes down to kickers. I think kickers are absolutely what's the word? They're disposable. They're disposable. There's no value in kickers.
We're a dime a dozen.
You can find a guy that plays soccer in Europe who can kick it 60 yards, who's never had any experience in the National Football League, and he can kick better than Jake Moody. Jake Moody was a top college kicker, really good when he was at Michigan, comes in the NFL, and it's like something happened to him where they removed all of his, I don't know. He acts like he doesn't have a set, the way he carries himself. I don't know about you, but his body language, I think very angry thoughts when I watch this kid on television.
You know who he reminds me of? Jimmy Garoppolo.
Just,
Yep.
What do you make of the comments when people make Jimmy Garoppolo comparisons when Purdy was having a rough game yesterday? He was throwing some interceptions. I think Purdy was just trying to do too much. What's that?
In my opinion, that tells me that they're just looking at the interception and comparing it to somebody rather than watching football. The guy has no weapons around him. He's trying to make a play. Were they bad passes? Yes. What are you gonna do? Take a sack? There's pros and cons to it. You could go back and forth. A turnover sucks. It's not good. You don't want to see it, but he's trying to make plays, man. This is all this kid's doing. He's just trying to make a play. That's it. They're desperate right now with their skill positions, and he's just trying to do the best that he could. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. They were too bad. Well, one was really bad, where he threw that into because the camera. You see, it's tough because the camera angle that I saw, it looked like there was a guy in under coverage and there was a guy over him, like behind him. And if he was trying to teardrop it in, it looked like he could have potentially had that. But then from the other angle, there was two more guys there. And I was like, oh, my God, I didn't see those two. So there's essentially four guys around him. But that was just a bad throw. The throw that he made where he had to jump up because Brendel got pushed off and he just tried to throw it and couldn't get his feet on it or get any really power or lift on it. Listen, Jones just made a phenomenal play in the middle of that defense. Their number one thing, Mike McDonald's things when he was in Baltimore, they were spot dropping. They were dropping the spots and playing areas where Purdy and this offense likes to attack. So on one of those plays, he actually, when you're playing middle linebacker, you're at maybe 4 to 6 yards off the line of scrimmage, and the drop, you're at 7 yards. He was like borderline almost 8, 9, 10 yards downfield. So that tells me he was just spot dropping. He knew that dagger was coming across the middle, and he just took a shot. Purdy tried to clear him, and it didn't happen. Kudos for the attempt, but bad decision, yes. But he's trying. the guy is trying.
I'm still very comfortable with Brock Purdy as a quarterback. I have absolutely zero hesitation. Everyone is always going to say, well, he isn't elite. He doesn't this. He isn't that. There's very few NFL quarterbacks that are elite in this league. Very few. And guess what? When their offensive line doesn't play very well, like Joe Burrow, it doesn't matter how good of the skill players you have around you or how good of a quarterback you are. It's a team game. Real quick, I got the injuries back up on screen. So it's George Kittle out a few weeks. Juwan Jennings are still evaluating, whatever that means. Ben Barch has a knee sprain, is day-to-day. And then, of course, the Purdy left shoulder and toe. They will see how the week goes. Shanahan says the toe is worse than the shoulder. Apparently, he got hit on the deep throw. I think that throw to Pearsall is what that got him hurt. The toe, I don't understand where that came from. I would assume he just juked or something. And turf toe is one of the worst things you could have if you're like a corner or a wide receiver or any skill position player. So it's kind of good that he's not a skill position guy. They can numb it up probably. But, man, any last thoughts on everything, man, before we get out of here? Any thoughts on week 2 in New Orleans?
Listen, man, I want to see them have a good, solid week of prep for next week. Jump on the plane. This team has to develop that business trip mentality again, like they did in their Super Bowl years. They prepped,
Yep.
They got on a plane, down to the destination, got off the plane, slept, woke up, business on the field, off the field, back to the Bay Area. They have to develop that business mentality.
That's the scary thing with the young guys. They don't have quite the you got to teach that. When you have a lot of veterans on the team, they all know what's up.
Yeah, the core principle's there, but unfortunately, 50% of the captains on this team are hurt.
Yeah.
A little less. But
good thing is it's still early in the season.
Yeah, it is early. I'm sorry. You just want to see them just keep going. Stay focused. Do your job. Could execute. If they do that, I think they could get out. They could sneak a W out with the Saints. And come home and get ready for what? Arizona?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a good test. I know we're bypassing New Orleans, but I think it'll be a good test for the Niners defense because of the scrambling ability of Kyler Murray. The old Niners defense is as good as they've been in the past. They've always struggled with containing the guy. So it'd be interesting to see a new crop of players if they have any better luck. I remember last year when that one touchdown run by Murray where he pretty much waved goodbye to the defense. Last year was bad. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see a quarterback waving goodbye for a 60-yard run up the seam on the defense. They got to figure that one out. Couple strong. I thought D. Winters played strong yesterday. I thought Marquise Siegel played strong yesterday. I think Samo looked okay. Bosa, a little quiet, but he made the play when it counted. He pushed the O tackle into the quarterback's lap. It's early in the year. None of these injuries, fortunately, are long-term, especially hopefully the Purdy one. Can they go a game with Mac Jones and win a game in New Orleans? I think so. I would love to see Purdy back against the Cardinals for sure. But it's only week 1, man. There's a long time. There's a long season to go, and this is a young team with a lot of inexperience, but it could be used to help them instead of hurt them. They just got to get healthy. It's really what it comes down to.
That's it.
Again,
right back at square one. Injuries.
Right back to square one. Injuries. It's always our bit.
The main issue in the preseason, the main issue last year. It's just an ongoing issue, and it needs to be rectified.
You're probably one of the first people that has been as irritated and pissed off as I am about the injuries. A lot of people they always say it's just football and that's just what happens. I'm like, don't start. That's not true. The Niners are the most off-injured team in the NFL every single year. Stop trying to downplay it. I don't want to hear it. I hate when people tell me that. They think I'm like some 2-week rookie that I've liked the Niners for 5 minutes. I'm like, you guys been watching the last 10 years? Has anybody been paying attention? This has been an ongoing thing in the Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch regime. It's a problem. So we'll see. All I know is that if they have another year like last year with injuries, I don't know about you, Tony, but they got to make a move. They got to change something in that training room, man. Right?
They do.
Right?
I agree.
Nobody agrees with me on that one either. So hopefully they don't have issues with injuries this year, other than these couple of, ongoing ones, and then we're good to go the rest of the year. But I have a feeling that's not the case. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Tony, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. I want to do this again when you're able.
Okay.
I feel like the Empire State of Mind podcast, we have like 2 like official, and then we have, I'm working on another co-host that I had with us last year. I told him, I says, we might have like a kind of a revolving door of guests or co-hosts. You know what I mean? Some people work some days. If they're able to do it one day, they might not be able to do it next week. But I'm trying to keep it to where, if someone is able to do something and I'm available to do it, I'll do it with them. And we'll just kick it another day for somebody else. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
Everybody, have a great rest of your Monday. Enjoy Monday Night Football. And we'll see you here next week on Empire State of Mind. Peace out, everybody.